Okay, Mary, we're ready.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Mary Sandy. I'm director of the Virginia Space Grant Consortium, and I'd like to welcome all of you to our Virginia Aerospace Science and Technology Scholars closing ceremony. This is our third and final session for the summer. We have many special guests joining us today, and I'd like to recognize them. We have with us today Virginia's Secretary of Education, Atif Carney, and he will be making remarks later in the program. Virginia Senator Ghazala Hashmi is also with us today, and we'll be hearing from Senator Hashmi later in the program as well. Senator Warner and Congressman Rob Whitman have sent video remarks of greetings for the students. Also joining us today from the Commonwealth of Virginia is Fran Bradford, Deputy Secretary of Education, another wonderful supporter of our programs, and Amber Wilson from the Virginia Department of Aviation, who coordinates the Governor's Aerospace Advisory Council. We have several representatives who are with us today from industry, and these are from companies who contribute to the Virginia Aerospace Science and Technology Scholars Program. They are Kay Core, Program Manager and CMOE Supervisor from Sierra Lobo, and Jack Schlank, also from Sierra Lobo, and he is their Director of Special Projects. Laura Blumberg, Senior Program Director at SAIC, and also President of the Virginia Aerospace Business Association, and VASPA is a contributor to the program. Amanda McCormick is also with us today, and she is a business analyst from Boeing Defense, Space, and Security. And again, they are also a contributor. So thanks to all of you for your support. We also have with us from industry Dan Wolf, the CEO of Universal Solutions, Inc., and he's joined from USI by Bob Lovett, Vice President for Business Development and Cyber CWMD Development. They're a partner with us in our Army Research Labs effort and also in internships. Terrence Benigno is Senior Vice President of Corporate Development at Business Integra, and Jeff Jones is a consultant with Business Integra and a longtime VAST mentor. So I'm thanking Business Integra for loaning Jeff to us this week for the program. From academia, we're really pleased to have Brian Hemphill, the new president of Old Dominion University. Old Dominion University is the host institution for the Virginia Space Grant Consortium. So we welcome Dr. Hemphill to his new role at ODU and also to serving on our board of directors. John Nunnery is the acting director of the Old Dominion University Research Foundation, which provides excellent fiscal and human resources support to the VSGC. And he is also the Assistant Vice President for Research there. Rafael Landeta, Associate Dean of the ODU College of Engineering and Technology, is with us today, as is Craig Woolsey, Professor of Aerospace and Ocean Engineering at Virginia Tech, a frequent and valued collaborator. From NASA, we have, in addition to our co-host, Director Clayton Turner, who'll be speaking later, Dave Pierce, the Director of Wallops Flight Facility, which is a wonderful partner for us, and we do several great programs with NASA Wallops. Mike Cherry, the Program Manager of Validor, Inc. from the NASA Space Grant Program Office at NASA headquarters, is with us. Dave McCowan, the Center Chief Engineer at Langley. And Jill Prince, the Acting Deputy Director for the Research Director at Langley, and is also one of our Advisory Council members. And Donna Lawson is with us as the Legislative Affairs Officer, longtime collaborator with our program, and her intern, Cameron Lockery, who is a former VAST alum. So welcome to all of our guests, parents, and family members today. This is the culmination of a wonderful journey that has taken these 59 Virginia Aerospace Science and Technology scholars as juniors and rising seniors through an in-depth learning experience based on the awe-inspiring work of NASA. The students in this class first spent December through April in an intense distance learning program in which they completed interactive modules that taught key STEM concepts through an exploration theme. Throughout their coursework, they were led by a master educator and interacted with NASA mentors and experts. Students who did well in the course were invited to one of 3 one-week residential summer academies with a focus on designing a human mission to Mars. You'll be hearing later from the scholars about the summer academy component of the program. When we first came to understand that NASA Langley again would be closed this summer to student programs due to the COVID-19 pandemic, my team worked really hard to shape a virtual experience that would incorporate all the elements of the on-site academy, and we drew on last summer's experience as well. All of our partners have pitched in to make this happen, and Old Dominion University's Office of Distance Learning has provided outstanding technical support for us. Students are receiving 5 college credits for their participation in the program through Thomas Nelson Community College. We're grateful for that strong partnership with Thomas Nelson that makes it possible to affordably provide these college credits. Since inception in 2007, VAST has impacted 5,800 students in the online course and about 2,250 students in the summer academies. Our scholars consistently tell us what a difference this program makes for their personal and academic growth, as well as in helping to shape their career pathways. And the external evaluation for the program confirms that impact. It has been a real pleasure to work with NASA Langley on this project. And I can't say enough about the NASA and industry mentors who so generously donate their time to work with our scholars. And the same is true for the work of our master teachers and the help of our student interns, who are all former VAST scholars. They will be recognized later in the program. The Virginia Space Grant Consortium is committed to enhancing STEM teaching and learning and to encouraging students to pursue studies and careers in these fields. We believe that real-world applied learning experiences like VAST offers is just the very best kind of learning. And through the program, the scholars have been exposed to a wide range of STEM careers while interacting with NASA's highly motivated personnel. We're committed to engaging students from throughout the Commonwealth, including students in areas that generally do not have access to these kinds of programs. That is why participation in all our programs is always free of cost. We'll be tracking our scholars over the next few years to learn about their college and career choices and to offer information on future opportunities through NASA and the Virginia Space Grant Consortium. So please stay in touch. The VAST experience can open doors for these students to participate in other NASA and consortium programs. And we want to hear from you so we can help keep you apprised of upcoming opportunities that include scholarships, fellowships, internships with NASA and industry, student flight and design projects, and for those of you still in high school, our Virginia Earth System Science Scholars Program and our Pathways Flight Academies program. A number of companies have generously provided support for the program this year. I mentioned a few earlier, but they include the Boeing Corporation, Lockheed Martin Space Systems Company, Sierra Lobo, the Virginia Aerospace Business Association, the National Institute of Aerospace, and the Society of American Military Engineers, which is a new sponsor. Without their support and the contributions of NASA Langley and the Commonwealth, this program would not be possible. So I sincerely thank all of our partners for their contributions. The success of VAST is a team effort, and I'd like to recognize my staff for their outstanding work. So please turn on your cameras. Our education program manager, Rudo Kashiri, oversees this program and does a wonderful job for us. Ian Cawthray, education program coordinator, leads the VAST program, and I want to thank him for his hard work and leadership. Priscilla Hill capably handles the many administrative duties that VAST requires, and that included mailing hundreds of students' shirts and all kinds of materials for just this program alone this summer. Our media specialist, Ryan Carter, has been documenting the program in photos and videos this week, and you're going to see his work later in the program. And thanks to all the parents and siblings who sent in photos of the scholars at work in their virtual work mode. So congratulations to all of our scholars for their accomplishments in undertaking and completing the VAST program. You've been a great group of students, and I know you all will be making a difference in our world as you move into your chosen careers. Parents, you can all be very proud. So Ian, has Secretary Carney joined us?
Yes.
Yes, he has. Well, great. Well, welcome, Secretary Carney. It's my honor to introduce Virginia's Secretary of Education, Atif Carney. Secretary Carney has been a great supporter of our programs, and in his term as secretary has done much to enhance STEM education and education really across the board. He is an educator by profession, having served as a middle school and GED teacher in Prince William County, where he was honored as Dale City Teacher of the Year. Virginia is fortunate to have his leadership for education in our Commonwealth. Secretary Carney?
Thank you, Mary. Good morning. It's always great to see you, and it's really great to be here. Thank you for your leadership and everything you do, and thank you for the Virginia Space Grant Consortium and NASA Langley Research Center for supporting the work of our scholars. Just so excited to celebrate with you all in the vast closing ceremony. So excited to see all of our scholars who we're celebrating here. We see in the news all the time, like in the recent news of that billionaires are going into space, like Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos. I think Elon Musk is planning something as well in the coming days. And that's where the future is. And we are just so delighted that we have so many talented scholars here across the Commonwealth. And we're so delighted that the Virginia Space Grant Consortium and NASA Langley Research Center and all of our educational institutions and all of the folks working in the team are mentoring and really uplifting the work of our scholars and preparing them for the future. Governor Northam has prioritized education since day one. He helped establish a STEM Education Commission and charged them to create a unified vision and adopt shared goals to strategically inform how we prepare students for STEM jobs of the future. After the commission sunsetted, we also championed a legislation to codify a permanent STEM Education Advisory Board, which will now seek to continue to work uh, uh, extend the work of the Commission by unifying STEM efforts throughout the Commonwealth to ensure that all of our students have equitable access to high quality STEM educational programs like the one we're celebrating today. Finally, we are really proud that we were also able to implement our computer science standards in our K-12 system. That has been an amazing amount of work in the last 3 years. We're the only state that's done that successfully. We've invested over $1 billion over the next decade in our Tech Talent Fund in various STEM opportunities as well across uh, different uh, parts of the STEM disciplines. And also, one of the things that we really value is that we want to make sure that we emphasize collaboration and team building. And that is something I know that you all really value as well. Being able to communicate with each other and using creativity and critical thinking skills to really solve complicated problems and really provide creative solutions so we can help all of our community members. That's really, really important. Um, and so I just want to thank all of our scholars here. I'm just so excited that what you will be presenting on, what you have accomplished in this program. And I'm even more excited on how you will continue in your future endeavors to make our state, our country, our world a better place. So again, thank you for inviting me today. And Mary, I want to kick it back to you.
Secretary Carney. It's now my pleasure to introduce Senator Hashmi. Senator Hashmi has been a great supporter of our programs and of STEM education, and we've had great family engagement with her family in VAST as well. Her daughter Noor is a VAST alum and has also served as a program intern, and her husband, Dr. Zar Rafiq, is head of NASA Medical Informatics at NASA headquarters and he's been a frequent VAST presenter, and in fact, this week helped out our human factors team. Senator Hashmi is the former director of the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning at J. Sargent Reynolds Community College in Richmond. Senator Hashmi?
Well, good morning, and thank you so much, Mary, for inviting me to join you all today. It's such a pleasure to be here at this closing ceremony for our Virginia Aerospace and Technology Scholars Program. And as Mary shared, this program is quite near and dear to my heart and my family's heart for its exceptional resources and support for our scholars. So, on behalf of my colleagues in the General Assembly, and most especially on behalf of the Virginia Senate, I congratulate our scholars here today. I know that today's ceremony is a culmination of your hard work and the efforts that began in the vast online course and that extended through this week at the Summer Academy. This past week, you've challenged yourself to design a human mission to Mars, and it has surely tested all of your creativity, your knowledge, and your skills. But most importantly, I hope that it's helped you to develop a deep appreciation for the values of collaboration and cooperation. So we know that team efforts are so essential for the majority of our significant human enterprises. And we're so greatly indebted to the many NASA and industry mentors who have supported you along the way. I am so pleased that the Commonwealth of Virginia is able to support such an outstanding and challenging program for our high school students. You are among 209 scholars selected this year, and you've demonstrated your keen engagement and your intellectual curiosity with the world around you, as well as the infinite number of worlds right above you. And we will certainly be looking to you to continue along this bright path. So remain curious and continue to ask those questions that seem impossible to answer, because those difficult questions lead us to our most profound discoveries. And I hope you'll stay connected to each other and to your mentors so that you can continue to learn from and challenge one another. So congratulations again on all that you've accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hashmi. It's now my honor to introduce Clayton Turner, the director of NASA Langley Research Center, who is an amazing partner for us. Clayton is an amazing partner, as is the center in the VAST program. Clayton?
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Secretary Carney and Senator Hashem, for your remarks. Resonated with us certainly and what we do with this program, your focus on teaming and what we do together and the success of our students. So thank you for those remarks. On behalf of everyone at Langley, I'd like to thank you for participating in today's events. To all our special guests, welcome. We appreciate you tuning in today. We've come together to celebrate the accomplishments of our vast scholars. The Virginia Aerospace Science and Technology Scholars Program is a partnership between NASA Langley and the Virginia Space Grant Consortium. During this week-long virtual academy, vast scholars worked under mentorship of Langley researchers. They were also guided by teachers from academia and industry. Their assignment was a big one: design a human mission to Mars. Thousands of students from across the Commonwealth have participated in the VAST program since its inception. It's been great to see this program flourish over the years. That would not be possible without the support we see from academia, industry, and our state and elected officials. We appreciate the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Virginia's General Assembly funding for VAST, and we are deeply grateful for the business community's contribution to VAST. And of course, we're happy that so many of Virginia's colleges and universities are behind us as well. We're lucky to have such steadfast support of this highly impactful program. We should also recognize another important group of people, the family and friends who have encouraged and supported our scholars. Without their help, VAST wouldn't be the robust program we see today. As our scholars know, Langley is a source of extraordinary innovations in aeronautics, earth science, space technology, and exploration. Today, we look to the future with the same sense of excitement and optimism that animated the work of Langley legends like Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson. NASA is preparing to go to the moon to live and work. NASA will go there as never before, with new tools and systems that allow us to explore in ways we couldn't have imagined in the Apollo era. We're going to the moon, this time to stay. We will use our experiences on the moon to prepare for the next giant leap, human exploration of Mars. The successes of the Perseverance rover and the Ingenuity helicopter on Mars are just a prelude to a new era of interplanetary exploration. Langley will play a vital role in this new era by creating and testing concepts, materials, and technologies needed for these pioneering missions in deep space. At the same time, Langley works to transform aviation and deepen humankind's understanding of our home planet. All of this innovation is possible because we work together. Now, I'd like to share a video that captures the spirit of Langley. So if I could go off script for a bit, I've seen that video many times, and every time I see it, I get excited because it speaks to what we can do together. And I hope that's what you took from that video, the spirit of it. It's not the technologies and the advancements, well, those are very important. It's what we can do together. So that's what our scholars spent this week doing and what they spent their time from December to April doing over this past year. So scholars, you have had a challenging, productive, and enlightening week. All of this took place with the help of our master teachers and the NASA mentors who guided you, a team of scholars drawn from across the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is a great example of collaboration. It's inspiring to see what we can achieve by working together. Now, for the next part of our program, I'd like to introduce Rudy Kasheri, the Virginia Space Grant Consortium Education Program Manager. Rudo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Turner. So welcome to our program this morning. Good morning to special guests, parents, families, friends, master teachers, interns, and of course, our scholars. This is our second year doing the virtual academies, and I think we've got a chance to do it really well. And also, this is our third week of VAS, and we have had experience with two other VAS programs, and I did tell this team that they had a big challenge because the first two were very good, and so they had to show up, and they did. So we're really excited about that. To make everything work, we did work with ODU, Center of Distance Learning. They really helped us make the opportunity for students look as close as possible to what we do at NASA Langley. They created some rooms for us so students can be in individual rooms for their teams. And also this year was special because we could actually have a breakout inside the breakout room. So that really gave a chance for if we needed a couple students to work together or, larger groups and smaller groups. So it really improved everything that we were working on. And also, we want to thank the NASA Center leadership for providing us support through the week. We started on Monday with the welcome from NASA with a very special speaker, Julie Williamsburg. She did a wonderful job. Students really, really enjoyed, and we know this because of the questions that were coming from the students. So usually when we do the residential, we always start with a welcome from NASA, and that's what she did for us on Monday. And then we moved on to Tuesday, to the rest of the week. We also had a lot of representation from NASA Langley. we started with a gantry tour. Robin Hardy did a great presentation. Students really learned more about it, and that really showed them what they do there. And the next was a fabrication technology development branch. Special thanks to Nancy Holloway's team. We had Jake Turry and Sam James. They did a great job as well, and students had a lot of questions for them too. So these tours allowed the students to see what NASA Langley looks like. So we were able to provide that virtually. We also had Donna Lawson's intern from the Legislative Affairs that came and talked to the strategic communication team. Thank you so much for that as well. We also had representation from NASA headquarters. We had Elaine Seasley from NASA headquarters communicate with students at night, finding also about what she does and what NASA is looking for in the future. We had a special guest as well, a special astronaut who has been joining BAS for a long time. I'm sure your students will tell you more about their conversation or their presentation from Roger Crouch. We also had our special mentors, Jeff Jordan and Jeff Jones. Thank you so much. I know they spend a lot of time with students, not popping in one day, but a few days, and also representing at the panel for us. So thank you so much for joining us. And it was a great week with you. It made everything look as close as possible to what students usually get when they come to NASA Langley. The other part also, I'd like to thank the parents for sending the videos. When our students are at NASA Langley, we able to see them every day, see how they're working, their ups and downs and joys and everything they do to come up with their presentation on Thursday. Well, this week we're not able to really see what was going on at your house, and you provided us with videos and photos, and you're going to see some of your videos at the video that we're going to see at the end. And this summer, I'm not sure if it was a pandemic or what, but we had more females joining BAS. We had more females week 1 and more females week 3, which is something that we don't usually get. So we're really excited about that. We also had our panel on Thursday. I know some of you joined us. If you did not get a chance to join us, it was really, really good. Actually, if students would, your students will tell you that the mentors this week said this was like one of the best ones they've ever been to. The students were so thorough, and everything was just great. So with that, I really want to thank the master teacher and the interns. I know it's they put in a lot of hard work. Students, y'all know where the emoji is, so let's all look for it and say thank you to our master teachers and interns for all their work this week. I know they worked really hard to get you guys where you are. I did mention that interns are the ones that know how you feel, and they did a great job. They stepped up and everything was good. So this week at the panel, you guys learned how to do professional presentations, and they were professional. And also, you designed a mission in 6 days. I'm sure Mr. Turner will let you know that at NASA, that mission would take more than 10 years to come up with a mission. And you guys were able to do this. So that was really, really good. Another thing also on Thursday, you guys answered a lot of complex questions. We had a lot of our industry partners as well as NASA mentors come in and ask questions, and some of them were hard, and you guys did a really, really good job answering the questions. So this week, y'all learned a new vocabulary. So when you go back to school, some of you are going to college and some of you are going back to high school, you have new vocabulary. I don't know how many people can say I designed a mission to Mars this summer. So you guys have something that other students at your school have not had a chance to do. So make sure you keep that. You also learned about the famous upside down triangle, where you start with a big idea and learn how to focus it to a point and also showing details. And that's what the big project was this week, where you learned to work on a large project. And also, one of the things that we knew we could not teach you this summer, this week, is being smart. You were the top of the students at the academy, and that's how you were selected to come here. So we couldn't teach you to be smart. But one thing that we knew we could teach you are the soft skills, or what we like to call critical skills. And you also learned from the mentors this week that most people, most places that are hiring are looking for those critical skills. And I'm hoping that you guys will continue with these critical skills. And you learned a lot from this week. Now, you learned how to communicate. I know that was a big deal. Some of you are, well, we're probably the top student in your school, but this week you found out there are some people who might be smarter than you, or probably as smart as you are, and you had to learn how to communicate with them. You are no longer the smartest kid in the class. So sometimes it's hard, but you guys did a great job with that as well. Teamwork is not easy. Also, teamwork in a virtual environment makes it even harder. But you guys realize that for anything to go right, you had to work as a team. And that showed this week as well. Another thing that you learned this week is responsibility. So you guys were working like you were at a job. You were responsible for what you were supposed to be doing for your team, and everybody stepped up. You found out that if you're not where you're supposed to be or be on time, we had a budget and there were fines. So you learned how to be where you're supposed to be. During the residential academy, we're usually in charge of waking you up and making sure you're where you're supposed to be. But this year, you were on your own. And we're so excited that you guys were able to do that and keep up with what you were supposed to do on your end. Deadlines were met, and we noticed that on Thursday when everybody had what they were supposed to present working for them. So another thing also is making critical decisions. It is not easy to send humans to Mars and bring them back alive. You all found out a lot goes on to make that happen. And you had to make a lot of critical decisions. We take this, we give this, and maybe share with another team. So that was something else that you learned this week. And networking. So when you look at the program that you're getting today for the closing ceremony, everybody that we worked with this week, from the mentors to the master teachers to the interns, they're all listed in there. So maybe take some time to look at it, circle some of the ones that you want to follow up. Remember, some of them give you their email to follow up with them, and I suggest that you do. All those mentors that we have, the master teachers and interns, they love doing what they did this week or this summer. So if they ask you to follow up, please do. They're going to they're going to be getting back to you and sharing what you need to share with them. So we hope that this week we open some opportunities for you. Some of you probably knew what you wanted to do career-wise, and some of you didn't. So hopefully, I know a lot of people come here saying, I want to be an aerospace engineer, but some of you found out there are other areas that you of engineering that are just as good that you can get into. So you learned a lot about new careers. And also, I'm hoping this week you learned about a lot of connections. You have connections to other students, and hopefully some of you going to college, you might be going to the same colleges, and hopefully you make connections that way too. Your master teachers are people that you can get back to when you need, as well as the interns. Now, the most important thing is you met some friends this week. Those are going to be lasting friendships, because now you guys are part of a group that not too many students have been in. So you guys have something in common. You worked hard in 1 week coming up with a mission. You have similar vocabulary, similar experiences. So you do have something to talk about. So what I would like to say, students, is when you turn off today, when you go, oh, I was going to say go home, but you're home right now, take some time to reflect on what you learned this week. You need to write down as you remember things. I would just sit there for a minute and just reflect on things and write down as you remember, because some of them you won't remember later. So make sure you do that. And another important thing is come back and to another program. Mary Sandy talked about Virginia Earth System Science Scholars. We want you to come back, and we're hoping next year we'll be at NASA Langley. So that'll be your chance to be at NASA. And also, we want you to come back as interns. Some of you that are going to college, make sure you reach out to us and let us know where you are and what you're doing. And also, once you go to college, we want you to come back as mentors as well. As you remember, we had a lot of alumni at the panel, people who have done the program before. So we would like for you to come back too. So I want to leave you guys with the words from our famous astronaut, Roger Crouch. And what he told you was, this is the end of the beginning. Continue to work hard. Continue to stay in touch with important people that you learned today. Remember to look out for opportunities. Sometimes you might get an opportunity with something that you do not like. So sometimes take those opportunities. You never know where they're going to lead you. Next, I would like to give a special thanks to Mary Sandy for trusting us, this team, with doing this project. We love doing this summer academies, and also for giving us guidance when we need it. It was not easy to do this program, and your working with ODU helped us to get just exactly what we needed to make these programs run. And also your communication with NASA Center leadership gave us just the right people to talk to the students. So thank you so much for that. Next is special thanks to my team, Priscilla. I just want to thank you for everything that you did. I know the hours were long. I know you were running up and down to the post office. You just did not mail just for this shirts for this team. You mailed for over 300 students, and I'm sure the people at the post office see you coming every week and say, "Here she comes again." But I just want to thank you for all you did, and also making sure that parents have an agenda and students have a note, the manual at home, which is something that helped the students so they could follow the program as well. And another special thanks to Ian. I know you put in a lot of hours as well. You were with the students from the beginning, and also you did everything the students needed to do. You made this week easy, not just for the students, for me as well. You just knew what to do, and where to go, and everybody was saying the right place. And I know the scholars also enjoyed that. And another special thanks to Ryan Carter for the video that you guys are going to see. So I just want to say thank you again to everybody, the parents, for allowing your students to work with us this week. And the next part of the presentation is going to be about the students. And I'm going to let Ian introduce his dream team, and also you will hear from the students. Thank you, Ian.
So I want to thank everyone. And my first slide, I just want to thank Rudo, Ryan, and Priscilla as well. It takes all of us, working in all sides of this program to bring this all together. So, you're seeing the results of all their work, throughout this presentation and really all week. So thank you to the three of you for helping me put this program on. And so the group that we bring together that is not just Virginia Space Grant Consortium staff is, we have a set of master teachers for the program that help with the students with their academic development through the program. These teachers all served in the VAST Online course. I believe that some of the teachers here had some of the students here in their online sections, even if they weren't the teachers they had during this week. These teachers, were the ones grading the students from December through April, and they put in a lot of work to then transition to not just be teaching the students, but working with them as leaders on their team to help guide them to this very successful panel presentation and mission design that was shown yesterday. So if I could have, in the order we see here, each of the teachers come on and say where you work and what you teach. Kate?
Hi, I'm Kate Anderson. I teach for Fairfax County Public Schools in Northern Virginia, and I teach a combination of Earth and Space Sciences and Environmental Sciences.
Thank you, Kate. Ron?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ron Metzger, and I hail from West Point Public Schools, where I teach dual enrollment calculus and statistics and physics.
Thank you, Ron. Ayana?
Hello, my name is Ayana Fonseca. I teach in Newport News, Virginia at Woodside High School, teaching biology.
Thank you, Ayana. Cindy?
Hi, my name is Cindy Watson. I teach with Bedford County Public Schools in Central Virginia, and I teach math.
Thank you, Cindy. Ardinia?
Good morning. My name is Ardinia Lewis, and I teach Project Lead the Way, Introduction to Engineering. I teach here at Garfield High School in Prince William County, Virginia.
Thank you again to all the 5 teachers. You were wonderful this week. 2 of the teachers were brand new, and you wouldn't have known it. They got into this as if they've been doing it for years. So thank you very much to our 5 teachers. In addition to the teachers, we also have a number of interns. We were able to provide 2 interns per team. And as noted earlier in the program, every single intern that we bring on to help us with this program is an alumni of the VAST program. And some of them are also alumni of some of our other Virginia Space Consortium programs as well. And so without these interns, this mission would not have come off the way it did. These interns understood not only where the students needed to go, but also where the students would be when they started. Because as students themselves in the respective years, you can see, they had to go through this challenging process. And while these were all students lucky enough to have been in person, they also understood the transition to the virtual environment is a challenging one. And they all very, very well provided the support that was needed by the students to do this in the situation that we have. So I'd like each intern to come on in the order shown and just say where you attend college and what you're majoring in. Kathleen?
Hi, good morning. My name is Kathleen Bostick. I'm a 3rd-year biology major from Spelman College.
Thank you, Kathleen. Sarah?
Hello, my name is Sarah Burrows, and I am a rising sophomore at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute studying aerospace engineering.
Thank you, Sarah. Christine?
Hello, I'm Christine Fernandez, and I'm a rising sophomore at Johns Hopkins University studying biomedical engineering.
Thank you, Christine. Carl?
Hello, I'm Carl Hayden. I am a rising sophomore at Virginia Tech studying aerospace engineering.
Thank you, Carl. Adam?
Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Scalota. I'm a rising junior at Virginia Tech, and I'm currently studying construction engineering and management.
Thank you, Adam. Molly?
Hi all, I'm Molly Stephen. I'm a rising 2nd year at Virginia Tech and I'm studying material science engineering.
Thank you, Molly. Abby?
Hello, I'm Abby Thompson. I'm a rising sophomore at Randolph-Macon College majoring in engineering.
Thank you, Abby. Darren?
Hello, I'm Darren Upton. I'm a rising 3rd year at UVA majoring in physics.
Thank you, Darren. Charles?
Hello, my name is Charles Vaya. I am a senior at the University of Michigan studying aerospace and space systems engineering.
Thank you, Charles. Nachi?
Hello, everyone. I'm Nachi Alpargata. I'm a rising sophomore at Purdue University studying aerospace engineering.
Thank you, Nachi. So thank you again to all of the interns. We could not have done this without you. I really hope you're able to join us again next summer. And I do want to provide a special shout out to Darren. Darren is the only intern who was able to do all 3 weeks with us this summer. Normally we try not to have people do that because they simply get too tired. But Darren stepped up. We had some holes to fill in our schedule and Darren was able to do all that. So thank you, Darren, for dragging out a very long process this summer and staying awake through all of it. So thank you again to all the interns. So when we put this program together, not only do we have the staff that we hire to support the program, but we begin the week where the students join into 5 different mission design teams, and they all begin as just members of the team. And once they join us, they start giving presentations. Their first presentation they have to present with a partner they have not yet met. And then they also go through a job interview process. And this interview process lets us assign every single student on every single team a very unique, specific role for their team. So what happens is that one student on each of the 5 teams is designated as the systems manager. That student is responsible for driving the overall progress of the team and interacting with the other systems managers to keep an eye on the progress of their team and making sure that everyone is integrating all aspects of the mission and that no team goes very far off from what the other teams are planning. So these 5 system managers were told at the beginning of the week when we were talking about the roles is they have to present more than anyone else. And to make sure that that becomes true, we're going to have each of them present the short version of what was presented yesterday. So the full details of yesterday's presentation will be shared later, hopefully next week, and if not, it'll be the week after with all the students. But we want you to be able to see the shortened version of the mission design, and it'll be given by each of the respective system managers for each team. So from the mission integration team, Andrea, you'd like to present?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Andrea Silva, and I am the Mission Integration System Manager. Next slide, please. This amazing work was conducted by a great team of individuals, as listed here. We were also assisted by Mrs. Watson, Christine, and Nachi. Thank you all for your contributions. Next slide, please. Navigating and Investigating the Mars of Yesterday, or NIMOY, plans to successfully carry a human crew to and from Mars, with the intent of fulfilling scientific MEPAG goals. The mission strives to collect and return between 50 and 1,000 kilograms of scientific samples with a determined mission mass of 178 kilograms. With a duration of no greater than 10 years, it will take place between 2035 and 2055, with 484 days on the Martian surface. There are several stakeholders that will benefit from the success of the mission. Overall, NIMOY will produce great returns for the scientific community and will provide potential for future human space missions. Next slide, please. Regarding our concept of operations, a university rover will be sent to Mars in 2035, with 4 subsequent cargo launches. In 2037, the complete cargo vehicle will transit to Mars and land in 2038. Halfway through this transit, a communication satellite will be deployed. The crew are then launched into low Earth orbit before then transiting to Mars in October 2041, leading to a landing in July 2042. The crew will then spend 484 days on Mars before transiting back to low Earth orbit starting in October 2043, landing in the Atlantic Ocean in June 2044. Next slide, please. When it comes down to determining if a mission is successful or not, there are many factors that must be considered. With that being said, our top criteria for the NIMOY mission includes that all members must remain safe during takeoff, transit, and landing. Next, that the crew lands and conducts experiments in Amazonas Planitia by 2042, spending 484 days on the surface. Then, to collect 178 kilograms of samples for return. Next, to classify Mars's climate, atmosphere, and geological history, aligning with the mission's MEPAG goals. And finally, returning the crew to Earth by 2044. Next slide, please. There are some rules that we must follow to have a successful mission to Mars. One of the most important pieces of legislation is the International Space Law, which dictates that this mission would benefit every nation, no matter what. In the rare instance of a crime occurring, an astronaut flying to Mars on a U.S. spacecraft would be subject to U.S. jurisdiction. However, if the crime were to occur on Mars, we would have to refer to NASA protocol. Next slide, please. We chose to work with the European Space Agency, or ESA, for their tremendous aid in funding EVA systems, keeping in mind their caveats concerning crew and priority data publication. Next slide, please. We ended up choosing a university-led rover mission, partnering with Cornell University. The rover will be sent to Amazonas Planitia before the crew and will be free to explore other areas once the crew arrives. Next slide, please. Pertaining to crew demographics, there will be no specific age requirements as qualifications take precedence. This 6-person crew will consist of 2 men, 2 women, and 2 determined solely by qualifications. The majority of the crew will be American, however, 2 of the crew members will be from ESA. Astronauts must also be able to pass the NASA long-duration flight astronaut physical and psychological requirements. The commander of the mission will be an American aerospace engineer, with a second in command, an American mechanical engineer. There will also be a biochemical engineer and 2 environmental scientists, one of which will be a professor with a PhD, fulfilling an educator role for publicity. Lastly, there will be a doctor. Next slide, please. A baseline radio system and an optical communications upgrade will work together to meet our mission needs. Building on the pre-existing Mars Relay satellite system, the optical component will send and receive large data transmissions and is 10 times faster than conventional systems. A communication satellite will be launched to Lagrange Point 4 in the Earth-Sun system, where it will maintain a clear route for communication during solar conjunction interferences. Integrated audio into suits will also be implemented. Mitigations are in place in case of any communication issues that may arise. Next slide, please. In regards to our cost budget, we were given a $315 billion budget. By actively communicating with other teams and considering their budget concerns, we finalized this budget, with Mission Transit understandably receiving the majority. All needs were successfully met. That is all for mission integration. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mission Integration. Now, Renee from Science and Surface Ops.
Good morning, scientists, administrators, legislators, teachers, interns, scholars, and other members of the audience. My name is Hriday Anadkut, and I'm the System Manager for the Science and Surface Operations Office, or the SSO team, and I will be briefly discussing the proposed research plans during our crewed mission to Mars. Next slide, please. First things first, I'd like to recognize the hard work of the entire SSO team seen here, our master teacher, Ms. Fonseca, and our two alumni mentors, Sarah and Carl. I'd also like to thank my teammates not only for their perseverance and dedication during the planning stages of this mission, but also for being inquisitive friends who have had a blast working with. Overall, each and every member of the SSO office should be commended for their tenacity in setting the goals for the proposed mission, planning out sites, and keeping astronauts safe while on the surface of Mars. Next slide, please. That brings me to a brief overview of our mission to Mars. After landing near a site named Tooting Crater, operations on the surface will last 484 days, where the astronauts will have an abundance of research opportunities to investigate the past and present biologies, geologies, and climates of Mars. Next slide. Based on the goals for our mission you see here, our plans for the research conducted by the 6 crewmates heading to Mars fall under 3 categories. First is to better understand the possibility of life on Mars by collecting soil samples and conducting experiments. Second is to better understand Mars's climate by launching long-term analyses of its atmosphere. And third is to document the changes of Mars's geology in the lens of crater impacts, volcanic activity, ancient oceans, and other major events. Next slide, please. To satisfy these goals, we've identified the Amazonas Planitia region, and more specifically, a landing site near Tooting Crater as an ideal landing spot. There, the landing site sits in a flat plain with perfect conditions for a safe landing and stable base, while also being extremely close by to interesting sortie sites. Next slide, please. To support investigations to sortie sites, the astronauts on Mars will rely on 3 vehicles in total, including 2 Space Exploration Vehicles, or SEVs, for long-distance travel, and 1 Mars Rover Vehicle, or MRV, for short-distance travel. The 2 SEVs we plan to bring along are pressurized and can comfortably support long-duration missions up to 1,000 kilometers away, with certain additions. On the other hand, the singular MRV we plan to bring along is depressurized and requires astronauts to be in their spacesuits so they can rove around within 100 kilometers of the base. And finally, both vehicles can carry hundreds to thousands of kilograms of equipment, samples, and crewmates. Next slide, please. With the landing site in mind and the methods of transportation identified, our team found 2 specific sortie sites for astronauts to investigate, including the nearby Tooting Crater, Fissures, and Lycus Sulci. With the help of the MRV or SEVs, the astronauts are planned to visit Tooting Crater close to 40 times and Lycus Sulci close to 25 times. Each of these sortie sites have different interesting features and compositions, especially in regards to subsurface ice, nutrients, clay, amino acids, volcanic rocks, and trapped gases. Without a doubt, the astronauts will truly be able to uncover a wealth of knowledge about Mars. Next slide, please. At these sites, astronauts will use a variety of instruments for their analysis methods, ranging from spectrometers to microscopes to drills to radar. All of these different tools will help us evaluate the growth of plants we bring to Mars, the long-term evolution of the planet's atmosphere, and the geological history of the planet. And when astronauts have to bring hundreds of samples back to habitat or Earth, they'll use specifically designed sample tubes, return bags, and cooling units. Next slide, please. And of course, for the astronauts to actually conduct their research, they'll make use of the laboratory found in the habitat. The relatively small lab, as seen in the proposed layout blueprint here, will allow 2 astronauts at a time to make use of key instruments, as well as to store and analyze samples. Next slide, please. After determining all of this, it is imperative to outline exactly what the astronauts will be doing as they spend 484 days on Mars. As seen in the concept of operations chart above, much of the initial operations up to 160 days on Mars will focus on short-distance missions and sorties around the habitat. After this period of time, the crew will start expeditions to sortie sites farther away, such as Lycus Sulci. All the while, long-term atmospheric and geological experiments will be occurring across the plains of Amazonas Planitia. Next slide, please. And finally, during the 484 days on Mars, astronauts will not only have to worry about meeting the outlined specific goals, but also keeping themselves and the environment safe from a number of risks, including dust storms, radiation, nuclear reactor failure, EVA dangers, SEV malfunctions, and contamination. Despite all of this, upgrades to the Artemis generation suits, extensive monitoring, and usage of existing protocols will ensure the safety of astronauts and the success of the mission. With that, thank you to the audience for listening to the SSO's presentation.
Thank you to the Science and Surface Operations team. Now, Nick from Mission Transit.
Hello all, my name is Nick and I'm the Systems Manager for the Mission Transit team. Next slide, please. Here's a list of the members of our team and their respective roles. Next slide, please. The requirements of this team include determining launch vehicles for low Earth orbit, creating a transit vehicle for both crew and cargo to Mars, landing all of the crew and cargo on the Martian surface, returning the crew and sample masses back into orbit around Mars, and transporting the crew and cargo back to Earth safely. Next slide, please. The concept of operations of the team include a rover precursor mission, which will help identify a more specific landing site. The landing site will be in the region Amazonas Planitia, southeast of Tooting Crater. This site allows for optimal research in the history of Mars and allows for volcanic activity to be investigated at a safe distance. 10 phases will be employed in order to transport cargo and crew from Earth to Mars and back. The duration of the crewed section of the mission, including transit, is approximately 980 days. Next slide, please. This is a graphic that gives a rundown of the launch windows and times in each phase. Phases 1 through 3 surround the launch and arrival of the cargo transit vehicle. Phases 4 through 7 entail the launch and arrival of the crew to Mars. And phases 8 through 10 surround the crew leaving Mars and returning to Earth. Next slide, please. The chosen launch vehicle for this mission is NASA's SLS-1B, which is capable of carrying 105,000 kilograms to low Earth orbit. This mission will entail 12 launches, in which the first 11 are for cargo and the last is for crew. Next slide, please. In this mission, the cargo transit vehicle will be assembled in low Earth orbit, then sent to Mars in 2037, with the crew transit vehicle being assembled and sent in 2041. These crafts utilize nuclear, thermal, and chemical propulsion systems. Next slide, please. On the left is a model of the Dragon V2 capsule, which we have taken inspiration for our entry, descent, and landing. The cargo EDL system will be larger and more powerful than that of the crew in order to handle the heavier load. The graphic on the right portrays the systems we will put in place in order to slow down the vehicle during descent and landing. Next slide, please. The design for our Mars ascent vehicle is based on a NASA conceptual study. The ascent to low Martian orbit will take approximately 45 minutes to complete, while the rendezvous and docking process with the crew transit vehicle may take up to 48 hours. After the MAV has docked, the mission can continue, and the crew transit vehicle will return to Earth safely, ending the mission. Thank you very much for your attention, and I am honored to have been able to work with such an amazing team.
Thank you to Mission Transit team. It's now Elizabeth from Human Factors.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Cashwell, the Human Factors System Manager. Next slide, please. Firstly, I would like to thank each and every fabulous member of my team, as well as Ms. Anderson, our master teacher, and both interns, Molly and Adam. Everyone worked incredibly hard over the past few days to make this possible. Thank you to my team for putting in the hours of effort to gather all of the fantastic information that I am about to present. Next slide, please. As human factors, our team's main concern is keeping our crew safe, mentally and physically healthy, and alive. Our job was to develop a habitat and scope out technology to protect the crew from the Martian regolith, low oxygen environment, and radiation during transit and stay. The top priority of our team was to create and implement plans to keep our crew members safe, healthy, and alive. Next slide, please. For a brief rundown of our ConOps, we needed to design a habitat capable of blocking out radiation and capable of protecting against the harsh Martian terrain. To further fulfill crew needs, we had to devise a plan to provide ample water, food, and air supplies. As for physical and mental health, we needed to incorporate equipment, special lighting, and mitigation systems. Next slide, please. The roly-poly design, yes, like the bug, is named for its adaptable capabilities. It was originally created by students at California Polytechnic, but was slightly altered to meet our crew's needs. The habitat is comprised of polyethylene for its flexibility, as well as its ability to block out large levels of radiation. Additionally, the habitat is made up of Kevlar and low-carbon steel to provide additional support and radiation protection. Finally, the neoprene that wraps around the habitat is used for its durability against acid rain. The entrance to the habitat is an airlock system to protect the internal structure from regolith. The floor plan includes a control room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, lounge space, medical bay, laboratory, and greenhouse. Next slide, please. For the duration of the mission, the crew will experience extreme isolation. To combat the effects of this, there will be weekly therapy calls, VR goggles to momentarily escape the Martian environment, and a specific crew schedule to cut down on crew work time. In case of emergency, there are antipsychotics, antidepressants, and anti-anxiety medications located within the habitat. Next slide, please. The crew schedule goes hand in hand with the psychological support for the crew. The schedule is similar to that of the one on ISS, but it reduces the workday to decrease the physical and mental stress of the crew. It is important to note that this schedule is based on Mars time, not Earth time, because we want the crew to stay consistent with their location. Next slide, please. One of the most important aspects of human factors is ECLIS, the environmental control and life support systems. Water will be produced and recycled by the vapor phase catalytic ammonia removal unit. Oxygen will be produced by the oxygen generation system, which uses electrolysis to create hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen will be combined via the Saboteur process with CO2 to create water. The crew will be sent with 13,000 kilograms of prepackaged food, which can sustain them for 3 years in a crisis. On Mars, using hydroponics, additional food will be created to provide added nutrients. Next slide, please. While on Mars, MOXIE, the Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, will be used to produce liquid oxygen to power the MEV tanks. Water will also be extracted via ice mining. Next slide, please. Finally, for contamination control, on Mars, the contamination risk is high and must be mitigated. The Martian regolith contains harmful perchlorates that will be vacuumed and filtered out through a powerful HEPA filter. Additionally, to keep out the regolith, an airlock system is in place. To keep the internal structure of the habitat clean, it will go through regular sanitation process. Once the crew returns from Mars, the crew will quarantine for a period of days to ensure that there are no contamination from unknown microbes. Thank you.
Thank you to the Human Factors team. Now, Juliana from Strategic Communications.
Good morning. I'm Juliana Kelly, and I'm the System Manager of Strategic Communications. Next slide, please. I first wanted to say thank you to my entire team, Bridget, Yuvraj, Mindele, Rama, Sam R, and Sam X. They all did an incredible amount of work, and I'm amazed by what we were able to do, especially with such a small team. Next slide, please. Landing a human crew on the surface of Mars for sustained scientific research and exploration will yield extraordinary benefits for those on Earth. The construction of the first human base on another planet will advance human exploration and introduce a new era of space travel. It will strive to reveal the secrets of Mars's past and inform us of our planet's future, and success will encourage the creation of future missions and more discovery. Next slide. The name we selected for this mission is Nimoy, which stands for Navigating and Investigating the Mars of Yesterday. Some may recognize the name from Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock on the original Star Trek. The show shined in a rapidly changing world that was filled with wonder towards space exploration while encouraging diversity and equality. And the idea behind this reference is to recall that era of fascination for what lies above. The logo takes a variety of symbolism and morphs it into the mission name. The end features NASA's signature red arrow wing. NASA's SLS rocket takes the shape of an eye. A shuttle travels a path to form the M, heading towards the O, which is Mars. Finally, the Y combines the United States flag with our international partner, the ESA. Next slide, please. So this is our mission patch. The patch portrays a spacecraft flying from Earth to Mars. At the bottom of the patch, there's an astronaut and 2 antennas to represent the presence NASA is intending to establish on the surface. Surrounding the patch, there's a yellow border with the acronym Nimoy at the top, and the full mission name on the bottom, as well as the American flag and the flag of our international partner, ESA. Next slide. NASA is eager to announce our partnership with the European Space Agency and Cornell University. The organization of 22 nation-states has previously partnered with NASA on projects such as the ISS. ESA will have 2 astronauts of choice participate on the mission Nimoy, as well as priority publishing for sample data, and in return, NASA expects the partnership to result in over $7 billion of savings. For our commercial partner, NASA has decided to conduct a university-led rover mission. Cornell will fund a pre-mission rover to study regolith and will launch in 2035, before the launch of the Nimoy crew, gathering data until the landing of the Nimoy team in 2042. Next slide. It is important for NASA to adhere to international and domestic space law. Therefore, one of our priorities will be to maintain close contact with the United Nations on the peaceful uses of outer space to ensure that all mission procedures obey space law. Our second priority is to secure the necessary funding from Congress through a special press release which will detail the benefits that the mission has in domestic and international spheres. We hope that explaining the impacts of Mars mission Nimoy will encourage legislative committees to offer financial support. Next slide. This is our mission timeline. It encompasses a span of 10 years leading up to the launch for the mission and beyond. As we get closer to the launch, we intend to increase the magnitude of our outreach efforts to make sure that the public is engaged thoroughly before, during, and after launch. It will begin in 2031 by announcing the mission and gathering public support, and end with the creation of a museum in 2043. Next slide. Mission Nimoy's website is designed to make the public more easily involved and kept updated on any new information and mission progress. The website will have photos, videos, articles, and mission press releases, as well as the mission logo, patch, and links to the mission's social media. The website will contain photos and observations of the Mars rock samples and information about virtual reality experiences, education opportunities, and student programs. Next slide. There will be two main press releases given during the process of Mission Nimoy's approval and execution. The first will be given when the mission is approved and announced to the public. The second major press release will be published when the crew first lands on Mars, as it will mark the beginning of direct Martian exploration. Infomercials, brochures, museum exhibits, virtual reality, live streams, merchandise, and social platforms will all be a part of the public affairs plan and will be promoted on social platforms to reach all demographics. Next slide, please. Finally, for easy access, there will be lesson plans and academic sources on basic STEM topics, as well as videos about basic hygiene in space, different parts of the space shuttle, and radio waves and communication methods on the website. These lesson guides are targeted for any teacher or educator interested in preparing a session about the crewed Mars mission. A significant part of the education sector on the website will be focused on educator astronaut videos. The educator astronaut will be tasked with recording vlogs and posting Q&A sessions from weekly interactions with American public schools, further engaging students in order for them to hopefully pursue a career in STEM in the future. Next slide. We'll now show a promotional video, and I'd like to say a special thank you to Sam R. He's one of the multimedia specialists on our team, and he did absolutely amazing on this video. We hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Mars, humanity's next frontier. This mysterious planet harbors the secrets of a world long past. Our curiosity begs us to seek answers. But what are we looking for? And how will we get there?
Giving our astronauts the chance to better understand Mars will uncover a wealth of knowledge. We hope to compare Mars's current and ancient geology, biology, and climate.
We'll be transporting our crew and equipment to Mars over a series of launches using multiple Space Launch System rockets to launch cargo into low Earth orbit. The cargo vehicle will then go to Mars and drop off the cargo to the surface.
Once the crew arrives on Mars, they will set up the habitat with life support and environmental systems to control air, water, temperature, and fuel. The habitat is able to provide them with physical and mental health support, as well as protect them from radiation, dust pollution, and other contaminants.
During the surface stage, the astronauts will be taking samples of the topsoil and subsurface ice, and they'll also be using instrumentation to better map out underground cave openings and predict dust storms.
At the end of the surface stay, the crew will then pack up the samples they have taken and enter the Mars Ascent Vehicle, or MAV. Once the MAV has launched from the Martian surface, the crew will return to Earth and the samples can be further analyzed.
NASA and the European Space Agency will work together to oversee the mission every step of the way, providing support for the crew while ensuring smooth and secure communication between Earth and Mars.
Our mission is to explore this strange world, to seek potential life, and to boldly go where no one has gone before. Our mission is Nimoy, navigating and investigating the Mars of yesterday.
So thank you to all the students this week for creating that wonderful mission. So this slide is just a thank from the students for thanking all the master teachers, interns, mentors, and coordinators. So that is from them to you. Now, you've just heard a lot about the mission that was designed this week, but what we also wanted to make sure that you hear is about the experience of VAST itself. So the following students will now speak about their experience of going through this program this week. So first, Kelly Lynn.
Hello, my name is Kelly Lynn Brinkhack, and I was part of the mission integration team. I was fortunate to participate in the virtual Space Coast Scholars Academy last year, so I had high expectations coming into the VAST Academy this year. However, to say that my expectations were far exceeded is absolutely an understatement. This experience is unparalleled to any other. I was challenged to solve what seemed like impossible problems in just 4 days, all while working in teams modeled after a real-world mission design setting. I was exposed to new disciplines of STEM and was further inspired to pursue my goals of working for NASA one day. I feel so fortunate to be in this program at the age I am now because it will set me and my fellow scholars up to enter the prime of our careers right as mankind is stepping on the moon and Mars. I would first like to say a huge thank you to the VAST program staff. Your time, hard work, and dedication to this program has never gone unnoticed by me and my fellow scholars. To my presenters and mentors, thank you for taking the time out of your days to share your experiences and advice with us and inspire us to follow our dreams. To Ms. Watson and my interns, Christine and Nachi, thank you for your constant guidance and amazing mentorship throughout this week. To my system and deputy system managers, Andrea and Nikki, I admire and respect your leadership, and I'm so grateful to have worked together with you. And finally, to my teammates, I am so grateful for the many laughs we had throughout this rigorous week, and I truly hope to meet you all in person very soon. I am so proud of all of you and what we accomplished. Going forward, there is no doubt in my mind that I would recommend the VAST program to any student remotely interested in the STEM fields. I know that I will carry this experience and these relationships with me forever as I face new challenges and push the frontiers of innovation and discovery. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly Lynn. Anya?
She's unmuted.
Anya, could you unmute, please?
Anya, we're having some audio trouble with you. Actually, could you reconnect, like disconnect and reconnect? We'll go to Ethan.
Hello and good morning to you all. My name is Ethan Rayberg, and I'm proud to have just completed my first year as a part of any Virginia Space Consortium program. I was lucky enough to be in the mission transit team, which is just full of excellent fellow scholars. And I want to especially express my gratitude to all the instructors, guest speakers, interns, and again, my fellow scholars, along with everyone else who just made for such a positive and educational experience. Since late last year, we've had many opportunities to learn and grow through a variety of activities like writing technical reports, engaging in rich discussions, and working with, teams to design a Mars mission in only a week. And having the opportunity to do that and hold discussions with experts who have real firsthand experience in a variety of these fields is just unique insight that you won't find anywhere else except for within this program. And it has definitely overall reinforced my love for the STEM field, and I will definitely be coming back to it as soon as I'm able. I'm thankful for all the great relationships that I've formed throughout this entire process, and I would definitely highly recommend this program to anyone with even the slightest interest with learning more about aerospace, because you don't know the relationships that you would make or the doors that you would open down the future or down the road in the future. So thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you, Ethan. Let's see if Anya's audio is working this time. We'll wait for her to come online and try that. Anya, we have video for you if you want to try talking. Oh, unfortunately, I think we're losing your audio again. So if you could try reconnecting again, we'll move on to Nia.
Hello, my name is Nia Felton, and I was given the amazing opportunity to be the Deputy System Manager of the Human Factors team this week. My NASA program journey, I guess, began in 9th grade when I participated in BLAST. It was the highlight of my summer, definitely had a blast. And then the following summer, last year, I participated in VSCS, which was also amazing and incredibly challenging. I had never written a technical report before or anything like that. It really improved my scientific writing skills. And coming into VAST, I expected it to be really similar in that I would just, learn a little bit more, but it truly exceeded my expectations. I worked on habitat design in the course, and during the actual program, I just gained so many more experiences and learned so many great things. And I wanted to thank everyone in my team, the interns, the master teacher, all of my teammates, everyone who made this just a wonderful experience. I would truly recommend this to anybody.
Thank you, Nia. So I see Anya has reconnected again. Let's give her another try. We do want to make sure we can hear from her if we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Third time's the charm. Okay. Hello, I'm Anya Marish, and I was the risk analyst on the Science and Surface Operations team this week. I would like to start by thanking Ms. Kashiri for this opportunity to speak, and all involved in the VAST Summer Academy for a wonderful week. I really enjoyed Virginia Space Coast Scholars last year and found that I had a strong interest in engineering and mission design, so VAST seemed like an obvious next step to take. While both the course and academy were very rigorous, they were also very rewarding, and I grew tremendously in both my hard and soft skills. Both the online course and academy taught me to analyze and present information in an effective manner. Additionally, the academy speakers also enhanced my general knowledge and were very engaging. I was particularly fascinated by the virtual tour of the NASA Langley Fabrication Lab given by Mr. Turry and Mr. James because I'm doing a research project related to material science and engineering at my high school. So it was cool to see some of the composite production techniques that I have read about be displayed on an incredibly large scale. As far as soft skills go, I learned to play a role, communicate effectively, and adapt my responsibilities to support the team. I also developed in the areas of organization and attention to detail, two areas that I had previously considered personal weaknesses. I would strongly recommend this program to all students, regardless of their interest in STEM, because completing the course and academy really improved me as a student and person. I hope to participate in Virginia Earth System Science Scholars next year and continue benefiting from the amazing programs provided by the Virginia Space Grant Consortium. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Anya. On for Rama.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rama Mittal, and I was a multimedia specialist for strategic communications this week. First of all, I just want to thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about my experience this week. I heard about this program from my older sister. She participated about 7 years ago, and ever since then, she has repeatedly told me that I have to participate too, and I'm really glad I listened to her. This has been one of the most educational and rewarding experiences of my life. My team was absolutely amazing. My master teacher, Mrs. Lewis, was phenomenal, as were the interns on my team, Darren and Kathleen. I could go to them for any questions I needed, and they were always so helpful and encouraging and would give me all the information and help I needed to succeed. My teammates were awesome too, and getting to collaborate with people who have similar interests as me was really fun. Throughout high school, I've always been really interested in both art and technology, and I've been torn about which one I want to pursue as a career. Being a multimedia specialist, I was able to use both art and technology to contribute to the Mars mission we were creating. This week taught me that there are jobs in the space industry that will allow me to do both, and maybe I wouldn't have to choose between the two. And that was really cool to learn. So, a huge thank you to everyone who makes this program possible. I'm truly honored to have been a part of it and meet the amazing people I did.
Thank you, Rama. So in addition to hearing from the students that we've just heard from, our multimedia specialist for Virginia Space Grant Consortium, Ryan Carter, put together this vast experience video. And I just want to reiterate what Rudo Kashiri said earlier. Thank you to the families who helped provide some extra video and photos of the students at work so we get some interesting perspectives as this all went on virtually.
I think that, this experience has taught me a lot. Coming in before, my experience with space was pretty superficial, just like the stuff you see online and obviously what I learned through the VAST program. But getting to experience like a firsthand application of all the things that we learned about in the previous year was really exciting. And obviously all the amazing people we've had come in and like interview and share their experiences was like incredibly fascinating.
My favorite was probably the gantry just because of what goes on over there. There's so much like testing that seems like really fun to be able to do as a career because like you don't really imagine having to like destroy things as your career, but then they do that at the gantry, like testing so many different things. It was really interesting watching that presentation.
The fabrication lab, I thought the cool thing about that was seeing all the tiny little pieces that go into making like a bigger product. So I saw one of the engine blades. It was cool to see the carbon fibers carefully printed out, each piece carefully handled. And I think the quality control was excellent. And I think it was just cool to see the process behind creating a bigger product.
My favorite presentation was the astronaut. Yeah, I really loved him. I loved him as like a person. He's fun, and I just like his position as an astronaut. One of the most surprising things was that he's colorblind. I never even considered the fact that they can't be in a lot of positions. So it was really inspiring for him to talk about his journey as someone who's colorblind and becoming an eventual astronaut.
I think students should participate in programs like these because it gives them a wider range of ideas in the way that even if you don't end up wanting to be an engineer after this program, you still take away so many other skills, real world skills, communication, teamwork skills, leadership skills that it's kind of hard to get in other kinds of activities. So I think this academy was really helpful, and I think this program is really unique in its own way.
Never, ever give up. You never know what doors are going to open, and try. Even though you may not get what you want, try.
Wow. Great jobs, students on Mission Nimoy, and it's certainly wonderful and heartwarming for me and my team to hear about the impacts of the program this week and your experience. Next, we have two short videos from members of Congress who just wanted to give a congratulations to our scholars, and we'll start with Senator Mark Warner.
Hi, I'm Virginia Senator Mark Warner. As a fellow enthusiast for tech and innovation, it's an honor to be able to join you at least virtually and say a few words today. I want to begin by applauding all the Virginia Aerospace, Science, and Technology scholars on your hard work in completing your academy. As you all know, your admission into this academy was based on outstanding work you did online. That's no easy feat considering how hard it's been in a learning environment, surrounded and dealt with by COVID. As Virginia's senior senator and chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, I know how important it is for our nation to have a workforce of people that are competent in STEM. Frankly, our adversaries, even during COVID, have not taken their foot off the gas in terms of investing in new technologies, whether it be cybersecurity, whether it be 5G telecommunications, semiconductor chips, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, you name it, our adversaries are investing. And it's critically important that our country makes the same kind of investments in the research and development, in the hardware, but also in the human capital that will drive the economy of the future, but also protect our nation. Matter of fact, as somebody who's also very interested in space, I know that a lot of the innovation that went into your academy will help our country make sure that we put a man or woman on Mars as soon as technically feasible. I can't commend you all enough for your skill, determination, and hard work. It will pay off. Thanks again, and congratulations.
Okay. Our next video is from Congressman Rob Whitman.
Well, hello, scholars. Again, congratulations on all of your efforts that you have put into the Virginia Space Grant Consortium's Aerospace Science and Technology program. The online learning, the virtual opportunities that you have had in learning realm, even in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, I think have been an extraordinary opportunity. And remember, this is a two-way street. So not only do you learn in this process, but what you do in that process also helps those individuals that are involved in aerospace science and technology, both at NASA and across the United States. So you have made a significant contribution there. Want to thank you for all of your efforts. Want to also encourage those that are going to be part of the Summer Science Academy. That's a great experience. I've had the opportunity to go by NASA and speak to the Summer Science Academy scholars, and the experience that you will have there in person. Those things are incredible. I know your experience online and virtually has been incredible too. So I want to thank you for those efforts. I want to congratulate you. It's a real honor to be part of that program. Want to encourage you to continue within that realm of aerospace science and technology. It is indeed critically important for our nation. It's an exciting field. So please continue to take what you've learned and build upon that. I know that there will be even more exciting opportunities for you in the future. So again, congratulations and thank you. I wish each of you God's continued blessings. May God bless our great Commonwealth of Virginia. May God bless our United States of America.
Hey, Clayton, do you have some closing remarks?
I do, Mayor. I just wanted to thank all the speakers for their inspiring words, for the scholars, and Mary, to thank you and your team for your dedicated service. We heard from several of the scholars that have been to multiple programs. Sometimes when things like this get set up, it's a one-off, but you've actually set up a curriculum, you and your team, that will empower our come. And the word of mouth, in addition to what we actively do to share the knowledge of this program, the word of mouth is even more powerful. And that speaks to being able to see somebody doing the thing you want to do. And that's what you see for all the programs, not just the VAST program, but the series of programs. So for the parents and listeners, I want you to appreciate it's not just the one program, but the series of programs that really makes this special, that makes it magic. To include the scholars that come back and participate and contribute. So they're paying it forward already because they want to inspire those that come behind them. I also want to take a moment to think about Emma as she talked about the idea that even if you weren't sure STEM was your field, coming to a program like this helps you to look at all the other choices, helps us to broaden your perspectives and open up your thoughts on what can be done going forward. So that truly is amazing. The value of being able to open your thinking and try new things, that's really powerful. And that's a testament to what Mary has set up in the Virginia Space Grant and in the partnership we have with industry, academia, and all those, our elected officials, the state of Virginia. It is truly a program that has benefited many students and will benefit our Commonwealth and our nation going forward and the world. I also want to thank the scholars. You guys did a great job. Congratulations to what you've achieved and your ability to accomplish this in a virtual environment. As we go forward, that future of work is going to be a little bit virtual and a little bit on site, and we're going to leverage all those to do the amazing things you described. I hope that this week you witness the value of diverse perspectives, experiences, and backgrounds. Here at Langley, we depend on the fresh thinking that can only come from a team that's multidimensional. So, as graduates, consider Langley. And I say, but Kelly, when you all started finding your acronyms to name your project, that's certainly something we major in here at Langley, so consider yourself part of the family. So welcome to this big, diverse family that is NASA Langley. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Wherever your careers take you, I encourage you to try new things, difficult things. That's how you'll pave the way to a brighter future for everyone. So again, thank you and congratulations and best of luck. Mary?
Wow. Congratulations, scholars. We know this group of scholars will accomplish great things, and we look forward to learning about those future accomplishments. Godspeed to all of you. This concludes our program. Our scholars will now return to their team rooms to spend time with their colleagues. Thank you all for joining us.